The last time I was parked here was about 5 years ago, and a lot has happened since then. I guess we've had the old COVID situation, we've had the ULEZ, I've got out of London, and now that I'm up here in the lakes, I'm basically based around the lakes. I guess I shouldn't really have any worries at all, really. A lot of people staying down in Cornwall. Sue's just here cooking. Don't worry about the noise. Just carry on. Oh, Sue's cooking dinner. What we got tonight, Sue?
Chicken and pasta.
Chicken and pasta. Oh, is that Yorkshire tea you got over there in the corner?
It's a big bag of Yorkshire tea, yeah.
Oh, right. There's none in the cup though, is there? Oh, okay. Don't worry. No, don't worry. I'll make it in a minute. Just leave it as it is. I'll do that. So, you're using that kettle water, are you? That's all right. Yeah, the last time I was here was about 5 years ago, and now that I'm based around this area, out of London, and the ULEZ shouldn't really bother me. It still is, to be honest. The more I drive down these country lanes in the middle of nowhere, the more and more I'm seeing these yellow cameras going up. Not just one or two here and there, but multiple cameras. And I'm gonna do a bit of footage on some of that in another video. This ain't gonna be about that. What I was trying to say is, recently we went on a not a demonstration, but a rally. A rally is what Sue calls it, about the farmers and why they're protesting and stuff like that. So what I don't get is why the British public are not getting behind them. Why nobody is actually standing up and supporting. Why are we just letting these old guys in suits and grey hair with loads of money sit and tell us what we're going to do for the rest of our lives? That's what I don't get. Why is everyone just sitting on their arse and doing sod all? If we carry on like this, I've spoken to a lot of people in van life, and they all seem to have the attitude is that if you're out in the country, it's not going to bother you. Wake up. Do you really? I mean, when I was in London, you all turned around and said to me, a lot of guys in Cornwall turned around and said, oh, it's not going to bother me. I'm in Cornwall. I'm in the middle of nowhere. I don't go into towns. Well, let me just turn the camera around and show you where I am. There you go. A car comes past about every hour, half hour maybe at the most. My neighbours are sheep. You see what I've got? Clouds, hills, mountains. So let me just shut that door. I could sit here and say, sod you, it's not going to bother me. But that would be sticking my head in the sand. It's going to bother me. It's going. I'm not going to be owning a van in the future at this rate. The way government is trying to control people. And if you think I'm wearing a tin hat, or I'm one of the tin hat brigade, or whatever you want to call me, then you're the person that's got your head in the sand. Because you're just not. You can sit there and say it doesn't affect me. It's going to. It's going to affect everybody that owns any sort of diesel vehicle, unless you're going to drive around and take all your camping stuff on an electric scooter. If you're lucky, well, you can't even drive an electric scooter. I'll rephrase it: electric bike, because they don't even allow you to use an electric scooter unless you hire one of their own electric scooters. So yeah, I mean, this is the way it's going. Do you really think those yellow cameras that are being put up throughout all the little country lanes are just to catch people speeding? So like I said, I'm going to do another video on these cameras and what they're about, or what I think they're about. But I just don't get why none of you guys are bothered. Why you're all sitting in your vans and saying it don't matter to you because you're not in a town centre, you're not in a city. because neither am I. And I know that eventually it's going to come here to where I am, and it's going to affect me. So I don't know. What am I saying? I don't know what I'm saying. What I'm saying is, why can't you be asked to get off your arse and do something about it? Why don't anyone want to do nothing? If you look at the Spanish, the French, the Germans, you've got thousands of them standing up, dumping shit on their government doorsteps and saying, we're not putting up with this no more. What's the British people doing? Nothing. Absolutely nothing. I went on, like I say, I went on a rally last week, and the amount of support the people got was limited. People just couldn't be bothered to go. And if that's you, then you deserve to lose your van. You deserve to be, I don't know, back in an house, working your life just to pay for the bricks and mortar that you're living under. And if you think that this is about the farmers getting their own rights or getting their own ways and earning more money, the farmers are just like us. They're struggling to make a living. They're having the food bought out from under them at a really low price. I've actually spoken to some of the farmers and tried to understand what their issues are and why they are protesting. And maybe that's what, again, needs to be highlighted, why they are doing it. But one of the reasons there aren't more farmers protesting is because the farmers in England are not just one body of farmers. You've got cattle, you've got crop, you've got different reasons what they want. They want different reasons, basically. They're not all after the same outcome, because some of them might be selling milk, the other ones might be selling potatoes, and the other one might be selling cattle. So they all have a different agenda, but they're all farmers in the end. So in some ways it's a different agenda, but I just don't think they've worked out that they all need to work together to get an outcome that is good for everyone. And the whole point of the farmer situation is that if all the trading with other countries stop and we produce our own food, the food should become cheaper in Britain, because the farmers will be earning more money. And it's not all just about money as well. It's all about, what do you want to call it, the green ecosystem that we're supposed, the planet is going to implode or explode, whatever you want to call it, if we don't all buy electric cars and get on a bus and work our lives away trying to earn a living. And if that is the way you think life needs to be for you, then go live it. But it is not what I want to do. I want my freedom. I want to be able to go where I want to go and do what I want to do in my van. And yeah, I might be selfish, but I don't think the world is going to come to an end because I drive my van around. I don't think if 1 million people drove their vans around, the world would all come to an end. It's just what people in suits are telling us. We need to pay more money to be able to drive our vans. So if that's the case, why aren't they saying you can't drive your van? Because the whole world will come to an end because of that. Why are they flying planes up and down the country? Why is Sadiq Khan himself driving around in 2 V8 Range Rovers? So there's lots of things to think about and lots of questions to be answered. I don't know, maybe I'm just ranting on about a load of nothing, but that's what I wanted to say anyway. I mean, yeah, why should I be bothered? I'm going to just shut me door, close me curtains, sit and listen to the rain on the roof, and sod the rest of you, basically, if that's how things need to go. But I don't think it is. I think we, as van owners, should be joining the protests, rallies. We should be joining them, supporting them, and trying to get an outcome that suits us, where emissions is not going to take over our lives and tell us how we need to live our lives, because that's basically what they're basing everything on, isn't it? Emissions is going to kill the world. Well, why don't they get out their big houses, out their big castles, and go live in a van and cause less emissions, because they won't be eating all that great big space where some old guy lives in his big house with his lights outside and his big Jaguar car. Maybe if they all lived in vans, there'd be less pollution and we wouldn't have to stop driving. So, well, that's my rant over anyway. Okay, so I'm sitting here eating my dinner, and I just thought of something else that I needed to add to this video, which is the people in vans that are saying, I'm going to leave England, I'm going to, I don't know, Portugal or Spain or France or whatever else, wherever else they think they're going to go. And either way, if you just Google 100 cities, and Sadiq Khan is the head of that, sorry, you'll see that it isn't going to just be England that has the issues of the environment that is going to overthrow the world and everyone's going to die off because of it, all within the next, I don't know, next half hour, I guess, if we don't do it. If that's what you want to believe, that you can run away to another city, then so be it. But I can tell you now, Google 100 cities and who is the chair of 100 cities. It isn't just UK based, it is worldwide. So there you go. That's just for you guys that want to bury your head in the sand even more and say Spain is the place to go. It's not. Keep on thinking of bits that I didn't say, and I also want to say that if you think it isn't going to bother you because you're my age, then think about your kids or your kids' kids, because it's certainly going to bother them. So yeah, if you agree, disagree, your thoughts, put them in the comments below. I'd like to hear from you. It'll give me something else to rant about.